alleged state police negligence around the Highland Park Independence Day mass shooting could cost Illinois taxpayers tens of millions of dollars after lawsuits have been filed at the Court of Claims. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop, and we talked about this briefly when it was reported separately that the state police had been sued in the Court of Claims. I then FOIA'd to get those lawsuits associated with the Highland Park mass shooting, and it took about 3 weeks or so, if not longer, for them to actually get back to me with those documents. But those documents are pretty revealing. So here we are taking a look at the Court of Claims cases that have been brought up here. And I've got 6 different cases. Some of them have individuals suing, others have several individuals suing. And again, this is at the Court of Claims. What the Court of Claims does, they handle all kinds of negligence allegations against government. And it's a court procedure, but a lot of times these documents are full of redactions. So again, I FOIA'd the Court of Claims for any documents they have pertaining to lawsuits against state police around the Highland Park mass shooting. It took them several weeks to get those documents back to me, but we have those. And I do want to just kind of go through some of what these documents had to say and show you as well kind of what we're looking at here. But the Court of Claims, right? So July 9th, you have a letter essentially saying acknowledging receipt of the claim captioned above, which has been filed with the clerk of the Court of Claims. The Attorney General will investigate the claim and represent the state in this matter. Please refer to the caption case number. So it looks like, $2 million there. And this is just one case, all right? And it goes through, again, a lot of redactions to remove the plaintiff's names in this, because sometimes it could include health information as well. But it goes through the timeline of the Highland Park mass shooting. And the alleged shooter, Robert Cremo III, able to purchase a firearm and doing that legally. Now, here's where we get to it, because we've talked about this in some detail, where you've got the state police. They manage a firearm owner ID card system. That firearm owner ID card is required in order to not just purchase firearms and ammunition, but to possess firearms and ammunition. And you file a application with state police if you're under 18, or if you're under if you're under 18, I believe you have to get a parent's permission. Or if you're under 21, you have to get a parent's permission. I think they recently changed that. Might be wrong, but regardless, there's a process there. And state police looks at background checks, and you have to have this FOID card to purchase, and then even there you get more background checks. So the FOID card was set up as a way to try to limit people from getting their hands on firearms if they are a person with ill intent. So I'm going to read to you some of the things that I highlighted from these 6 different lawsuits I got. Here's some quotes. The mass shooting at Highland Park's 4th of July parade was a foreseeable and entirely preventable result of the Illinois State Police's failure to act on clear and present danger report. That clear and present danger report coming from Highland Park law enforcement. The shooter had a turbulent youth, the documents say. Between 2009 and 2014, police officers visited the shooter's home nearly 20 times, 9 of which involved reports of domestic violence. Upon information and belief, he attended Highland Park High School and dropped out before graduating. Shooter attempted to commit suicide with a machete when he was 18, according to the documents. Police were called later that year. Police again visited in response to alleged threats by the shooter against a family member. At that time, police seized 16 knives, a dagger, and a sword after a family member reported to police that he had planned to kill everyone. He was not charged with the crime, but a clear and present danger report was filed at that time. Rewinding all the way back to July of 2022, of course, the parade shooting happening on Independence Day in Highland Park. You have Chris Covelli, a law enforcement official in Highland Park. He held several news conferences, and one of the first news conferences he did share that the firearm was purchased legally.
The rifle was purchased in Illinois, and the information we have thus far is that it appears to have been purchased legally by Cremo.
So he obviously had this FOID card that was issued to him by Illinois State Police, despite there being a clear and present danger report. Early on in these news conferences, Covelli was asked what kinds of interactions police had with Cremo beforehand.
Was garnered. Was he known to law enforcement beforehand, and if not, why not?
I can't get into that right now. There have been some law enforcement contacts, nothing of a violent nature. I can't get into the specifics of the context of that.
So nothing of a violent nature. He later then came out and said, indeed, we had these visits, including suicidal threats and threats of bodily harm against others, and they did issue a clear and present danger report. So despite those clear and present danger reports in December of 2019, at age 18, the shooter applied for a FOID card sponsored by his father through a sworn affidavit. To get a FOID card, the lawsuits say, an applicant must show, among other things, that they are not a person whose mental condition is of such nature that it poses a clear and present danger to the applicant or any person in the community. The clear and present danger report pursuant to the Firearm Owners Identification Card is used to aid state police in identifying persons who, if granted access to a firearm or ammunition, pose an actual imminent threat of substantial bodily harm to themselves or others that is articulable and significant, or who will likely act in a manner dangerous to public safety. These documents in the court case also go into all of the different types of public showings that Cremo had. From playing violent video games, they said, like Call of Duty. He also posted a lot of violent songs under the name Awake the Rapper, very violent songs, very, crass language and themes. He even had animated videos depicting mass shootings with the shooter in a pool of their own blood. He would go into a school wearing tactical gear and taking pictures of the like. More animated videos of him apparently holding a rifle and saying he's going to break through no matter what. Over different other media that the alleged shooter had, flashed images of saying that I need to just do it. It's my destiny. Everything led to this. Nothing can stop me, not even myself. Painting a silhouette of a man with a smiley face holding a firearm. These are just some of the things they found, including messages to other social media in the lead up to the Independence Day shooting. So the plaintiffs in this case going through in some detail, showing how this guy was a threat, not just from the social media and the songs and the videos he shared, but also behind the scenes with clear and present danger reports. And they say, despite the knowledge that the shooter presented a clear and present danger, the shooter's FOID card application was approved in January of 2020, allowing him to purchase firearms in Illinois legally. He was also seen investigating a rooftop access and as well riding a bike around the morning of. So those are just some of the things that they allege in their lawsuits, seeking $2 million, looks like, per individual. And one lawsuit has 12 counts, 12 individuals attached to it. Another one, I think I counted like 14 individuals attached to it. So you're talking about millions and millions of dollars that taxpayers could be on the hook for from this. Now, again, flashing back, Illinois State Police Director Brendan Kelly held a news conference in July of 2022, just a handful of weeks after the handful of days rather after the shooting, and he talked about the clear and present danger report they received from Highland Park Police and why they didn't act on it and prevent the shooter from getting a firearm owner ID card.
And if you look at the report that was understandably submitted by the Highland Park Police Department in response to the information that they had, and then you look at the law that with regards to clear and present danger, what the statute requires, what is that threshold, that did not meet that threshold. That the consensus from old analysts and new analysts alike, we vetted it multiple times, would that have met the threshold? And the consensus is no. After that point, there being no new development, no additional arrest, no additional criminal record, no new mental health prohibitor, nothing that indicated that the individual had been checked into a mental health facility that requires a new report, no basis for a firearms restraining order had been filed or an order of protection, all the things that are under the law that would be able to help us stop from issuing a firearms identification card. None of those factors were present at the time. Now, Illinois has obviously a comprehensive and fairly rigorous firearms training regime in this state. And we are always continuously assessing if there are weaknesses, if there are gaps, what we can do better.
Again, Brendan Kelly, just a handful of days after the Highland Park mass shooting, and it was revealed that Cremo had a FOID card despite there being a clear and present danger report. He went on to further answer questions. Again, Brendan Kelly back in July of 2022 about the clear and present danger reports, why those weren't used to block this individual from getting access to a FOID card.
So it was determined there was insufficient evidence to establish a clear and present danger. That's both implicit and explicit in the law. And again, in the law, it requires a preponderance of the evidence. And in American law, that basically means 51% or higher. What we have here is an officer that looked at a report and he saw a single individual make a report to another individual about a threat made by the subject of the shooting. The police tried to corroborate that. They could not corroborate it. You had the individual saying that they were neither a threat to themselves or others, and you had the mother also agreeing with that individual. So that's certainly a factor in being able to get to the evidence and sufficient information that you need.
So Kelly later with Illinois State Police said they're refining things to make sure that clear and present danger reports play a more significant role in not just reviewing applications for FOID cards, but renewals as well. So here we are now facing potential taxpayer costs of Illinois police, state police, being charged with negligence by victims of the Independence Day mass shooting. And even in one of the cases here, they go through a lot of redactions, obviously with all of the different names that are being redacted from the report, where they were, how they were injured. And again, these are different individuals, all redacted from this initial lawsuit here in the Court of Claims. But later on, as you get through all of these redactions, you'll see that the attorneys for the plaintiffs, they essentially acknowledge that the Court of Claims might be limited in how they can actually give out any kind of compensation. And they're seeking $2+ million per individual here. And as I counted up all of the different claimants in these documents, it was about, at least 20 or so. And we'll see just where these particular cases go, as Illinois State Police will have to defend themselves in the Court of Claims now 2 years fully after the Independence Day mass shooting in Highland Park. And remember that mass shooting was used as the reason why Illinois banned semi-automatic firearms and handguns over certain capacity in the magazine. So now that that's in the courts, in the federal courts, you've got family members of victims of the Highland Park shooting suing state police for alleged negligence in not blocking a FOID card from somebody who had a clear and present danger report against them. Pretty incredible stuff. There's no question, and it's something you have to recognize. Those who lost their lives and were catastrophically injured during the Highland Park shooting, and Robert Cremo III still facing those charges after a pretty tumultuous time as well as to whether he was going to do a plea deal or not. Plus his father having been found guilty of negligence because they signed off on Cremo III getting a FOID card. But yeah, each claimant requesting in one particular case $2.5 million with the acknowledgement that losses can't be presently stated with reasonable certainty. What can be stated, the plaintiffs say, is that the current Court of Claims limitation on recoverable damages is believed to be inadequate to cover each claimant's respective damages because the non-economic damages alone already exceed the Court of Claims limitation. Again, Illinois State Police in the Court of Claims having to answer to allegations of negligence. It is Illinois in Focus Daily, each and every weekday morning here with you. I'm Greg Bishop. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. With America's Talking Network, we'll track this case and many more, as we also look forward to the September 16th Southern District of Illinois Federal Court hearing, a bench trial in the challenges against Illinois' gun and magazine ban. All right. Make it happen. Illinois in Focus Daily with America's Talking Network.